Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from gorgeous San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Get hit with that Spartan helmet. Do you know why the Spartan helmet is the logo on all of the Voice of One business stuff? Because the Spartans represented people who did not get ready for battle. They stayed ready for battle because they lived in practice. It also represents the responsibility we have to guard our mind, to protect our mind for the things that are going to come in it, and the things that we will allow in it, the things that we will allow ourselves to entertain once we recognize that we have the personal power to not put up with thoughts that we don't want to have. You can't keep the bird from flying over your head. You can keep them from landing in your hair and building a nest. What does that mean? You can't stop that first thought from hitting your head, but you can surely address it, and you can surely decide if you're going to dwell on it or not. So you get to be in charge of that. In this season, let me just be real clear, in this political season, in this divisive season, in this fascinating season where the United States of America feels more like the divided states of America, you are learning and you are teaching your children, if you have them at home still, one of two things. You're either teaching them how to hate and judge, or you are teaching them how to have respect and honor and understand. What exactly do I mean by that? How you speak, how you act, the attitude of your heart that is manifesting during this political season is modeling for others and teaching others how we value or do not value other human beings for something as simple and little and tiny as believing a little different than we believe. I boiled it down yesterday. You know what the difference is between a Democrat and a Republican? Little tiny difference in belief. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Who are you allowing to get you so agitated? Is it the media? Is it what you're watching? Garbage in, garbage out. Zig Ziglar says if you don't like where you are and what you are, you have to recognize this. You are where you are and what you are because of what you are allowing to go into your mind. If you want to change where you are and what you are, you get to change what goes into your mind. You are not in a communist country yet being forced to suck down information against your will, my friends. You have the ability to decide what you're going to watch, what you're going to listen to, what influences you are going to allow into your life. And whatever you allow in is going to produce that fruit. So you realize this. I hope that you are actually teaching all of those in your sphere of influence, all those you have influence with. You're either teaching them how to hate and be dishonorable and disrespectful and agitated and ticked off because there are people who believe a little bit different than you. Or you are teaching people and your children how to have respect, how to have honor, how to maturely be able to say, I believe black. They believe white. Diametrically opposed. But you know what? Their intrinsic value is that they are created in the image of Almighty God, and that right there is my brother or sister. And you know what? Just as I have the right to believe what I believe, they have the right to believe what they believe. And you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. Just as I have the right to believe whatever I want, they have the right to believe whatever they want. Therefore, guess what? We can still be cool. If your response is anything but that, check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you are modeling for others in your influence and you are modeling for your children how to handle relationships or ideas that are diametrically opposed to yours. Ladies and gentlemen, let me break your heart. I'm going to break something that your mama and daddy told you, particularly your mama. Here it goes, all right? It's going to hurt a little bit. You ain't that special. Sorry, You ain't that special. You always will be to your mama, but you ain't that special. We all go through ish. We all deal with ish. We all have challenges. We all have issues. We all have things that we have to overcome or be overcome by so that we can learn. And do you know, Aristotle said this, there's no learning without pain. So I hope to bring the pain in the morning. I want to bring you the pain of the ability to course correct instead of you suffering the pain of maybe watching your child treat another human being like total crap because they believe different than them, and you go, why are you doing that, little Johnny? That's not right. You shouldn't be treating people like that. You don't need to be talking to your friend like that. Well, mama, I learned it from you. I learned it from you. When you talk about the Republicans or the Democratic, you combine it, whatever you want. I learned it from you. I learned it from you, mama. I learned it from you, daddy. That's why I treat people the way I do, because you taught me how to treat people who don't believe what you believe. You taught me how to treat people who don't think like you think. You taught me how to treat people that I don't like because they don't believe like we do. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just share this with you one more again right now. Whether you like it or not, you don't get to play the card of Dennis Rodman. You remember Dennis Rodman? You remember the card that he played? Man, I don't want to be a role model. I ain't nobody's role model. Sucker, you in the NBA, and you are bad to the bone. You are a great player. You're phenomenal. You don't get a choice at that level, bro. At that level, you are a role model. I don't care what anybody says. You don't get to go, I don't want to be a role. When you took on that public place, my man, and your brilliant game, you became a role model. Just because you say, I don't want to, doesn't mean that you ain't. Ladies and gentlemen, well, I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. Well, guess what? Your actions and behaviors are doing just that. Your attitudes, action, behaviors are doing that. So I ask you this morning, in closing, what are you teaching people? What are you modeling for people when it comes to people who have diametrically opposed beliefs to yours? What are you teaching them? I got caught up in a thread about a month ago. There was something in there about, it was some type of a weird comparison that had to do with abortion as a topic, if you will. And, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. I have this belief in my system, and I thought, I would just like to share a part of my opinion. So I shared a part of my opinion. Through this entire thread, one of the two parties communicating their ideas was respectful and honorable and tolerant and loving and kind. One was venomous and toxic and critical and judgmental and condescending. One of the two. And both were modeling for all the eyes on that thread the fruit that was being produced from that person who had diametrically opposed beliefs. I just said it was real simple. I said, no, I understand and I respect your beliefs. I completely do. Because if I followed you from the cradle to where you are right now and saw how you were raised, what you learned, what influences you had, the leaders in your life, if I knew all of those details, how you're showing up today would make perfect sense to me with no judgment. It makes sense. So I respect that you believe this. It's just a fundamental tiny difference in belief. We tend to treat things the way that we believe about them. One party believes there is a miraculous, incredible, precious human being in a body. And one believes, up until it comes out, it ain't nothing but, just a chunk of flesh. That's all it is. It's just a chunk of little meat flesh. It's just tissue. And so, because you believe that, you treat it as such. Because others believe this, they treat it as such. It's just a difference in belief. That's all that it is. And one person was gracious and one person was horrific. Both taught what was really inside when it came out. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are you modeling? What are you modeling for others? What are you modeling for your kids? Are you modeling grace, understanding, and respect, honor? Or are you modeling hatred and division and judgment and criticism? Because guess what? You're modeling one of the two. I hope today you have the light turn on and decide what it is that's actually showing up. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as Paulo Coelho said, what you believe doesn't change the world. Your beliefs don't change the world. Your actions do. Have a great day, guys.